Anything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah. You know. I said, damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah, let's go.
Hello guys, what is up? It is me, Prince Meliodas, and I am back here with another freaking video. I hope you guys like the new intro. I'm enjoying it as well. Honestly, I have nothing else to say, but one thing I want to clarify is I have never done this before. I haven't really done a what if like based off a movie of an anime. So if I leave out some parts that you wanted to see in the what if, I'm sorry, but I gotta progress the story along. Also, I might not remember every like name, but that's not really my fault due to the fact that there are so many characters in Naruto. I can't really remember them that much. So I'm done whining. So let's get into the video. And of course, since it has been so long, I have to recap you on all the abilities, but it's not gonna be a long monologue this time. Don't worry, it's just a quick little name, and you know what it is because it's pretty descriptive on its own. So let's go. What Naruto currently has learned over the years: Water Dragon Jutsu, Mud Wall Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu, and the normal one. His secret treasure Lost Living can have full counter to about 7 times if he uses full power, and even more if he pushes himself. And he can also make 10 clones from the sword maximum. Of course, he's gonna get weaker because that's how the ability works, I think. His shadow manipulation, as well as his shadow wings, has gotten way better, almost like omnipotent. Of course, he has the body flicker jutsu, substitution jutsu, and Kushina or Elizabeth's overpowered, dojutsu, which is powered by a bit of demonic chakra. And he also has the persuasion skill, like he just tells people to do stuff and they'll feel more inclined to do it. Also healing sanctuary, and I'm gonna say that it uses nature energy, and his chakra just jump starts it. The ability just kind of uses the power of nature itself. I just thought of it, so yeah. Also, Meliodas' dojutsu can cancel out other dojutsu. How do I say this? It can cancel out other Kekkei Genkai abilities, I guess. Mostly focused on Genjutsu. If you use Genjutsu on him, it won't work at all. It'll just dispel it. And he can release enough bloodlust to make an enemy pass out. That's about all I've thought of at the moment. Add more things in if you have ideas. Flying Raijin, he has mastered it to Flying Thunder God, I think that's what it's called. It's at the highest level right now. He has completely mastered KCM. He has Lightning Body, Lightning Cutter, other case, Chidori, Dragon Flame Bomb, Shadow Armor, Hellblaze, which is now as strong as a Mataratsu, which Sasuke has also learned. There's also Purple Lightning. It burns while also electrocuting you. It's kind of like Decay from Shigaraki, who has it in My Hero. It hurts a lot more. And his Demon Sage mode and his appearance turns to he gains 2 black horns, and the outline of his eyes turn purple. Also the Demon Rasengan, he has learned Frog Kumite, and the Summoning Jutsu, and he can summon about almost any toad from Mount Myaboku. That was a lot of abilities. Seriously, I gave him way too much into different categories. Anyway, let's actually get into the story. Now, we're going to start with Shion. She just had a premonition and a vision of a certain man in front of her. Not any older or younger than her, just about her age. The man had yellow hair, and when he was about to turn around, a light flashed and she woke up in quite a pickle. She sees her servants surrounding her, and it was because the land of demons was under attack. 4 strange ninja were in her room and demanded that Shion, the priestess, come with them. Gitai then proceeds to use his chains in an attempt to kill her guards and pierce them, but just as he was about to, someone breaks in the room, reflecting all the attacks back at the 4, who now have to dodge. Gitai, surprised, says, "Who the hell is this guy?" Everyone in the room then sees a yellow-haired kid carrying a sword, which then disappears. Naruto then turns around to see Shion, and when their eyes meet, it's just a weird feeling of attraction, I guess you could say, and they just can't explain it. Shion asks, "Who are you?" And all of a sudden, Naruto just says nothing because he has to focus, even though he is a little shocked at this feeling he got. And he tells the servants that they should grab the girl and run. They do so, and Naruto then proceeds to crack his neck. and Setsuna starts to approach him very menacingly. Look, kid, I don't know what you're doing, but we're gonna have to kill you now. Naruto then smiles as all of a sudden Setsuna falls in front of him to reveal to everyone his eyes, which were pure black and made them want to back away just at the sight of it. Naruto, seeing Setsuna in front of him, uses shadow manipulation to make a bunch of spears that would pierce through his back, killing him. Then he blitzes the rest, appearing in front of Kusuna and Gita, in between Kusuna and Gita, and kicking them both away in an instant, and also kicking Shizuku in the back into the ground. Naruto then starts to laugh as he just starts to run out of the building. Gita gets really mad, chasing after him, and so do the others. Now they're outside, and Shizuku, laughing like a psycho, uses her fire trail to launch a bunch of fire at Naruto, and Naruto gets hit. She starts to laugh thinking, oh, I got the kid, but then gets punched in the stomach so hard that she spits out a lot of blood and dies right in that moment. The others who see this are shocked and mad as hell, and they rush in as well, when all of a sudden a beast made out of ink comes just smacking Kusuna back to the ground, and the others arrive. This would be Sasuke, Itachi, Jiraiya, and Kakashi. Sasuke then says, God damn it, Naruto, we don't have time to take a detour. Who the hell are these guys? Itachi then says they look like enemies. Jiraiya then says, well, they don't really do much against us considering the way they fight. The three are now scared shitless as they start to run away because their comrade was killed so easily, and they're way weaker compared to these guys. Saiba was about to kill them, but Naruto holds him back, saying, don't worry, they're not a threat, but they are a threat to this village. Sasuke then says, let me guess, you want us to help them? Naruto then grins, saying, what, it's just a little fun before we go back to Konoha. Besides, I found something interesting. Everyone raises an eyebrow to this as we go to them meeting Shion all dressed up in her priestess outfit, and Tadanoha introduces Shion as the princess and allows everyone to introduce themselves, and after they do, Jiraiya then says, well, mind telling us what's going on? Shion then says, well, I was attacked and my servants gave up their lives for me. It's natural, really. Jiraiya and her then keep talking, and Jiraiya is a bit pissed at how she just talks and she sounds like a brat, and everyone agrees and they just won't say it. Sasuke then says, so that's the interesting thing you were talking about, eh? Naruto then says, shut up, I'm serious. There's something weird going on here. Those guys I fought. Well, usually when I use my father's eye, people usually only pass out, but I felt like just looking at those guys could kill them in an instant, like I was their natural predator or something. Sasuke is confused by this, and then soon Shion gets up unexpectedly and walks up to Naruto and kneels next to him, looking him straight in the face. Tadanoha was about to stop her for, being weird all of a sudden when Naruto stopped him. Is there something on my face? Shion then blatantly says, you're bizarre. The group then starts to laugh as she walks away, and Naruto, who knows how to keep his composure, his emotions under wraps somewhat, says nothing, but he has a vein popping. Tadanoha then apologizes for her behavior and takes them to the room they'll be waiting in. There, Naruto starts to meditate as the others are just doing their thing, and he enters Kurama's holding place. There he sees Elizabeth patting Kurama as Meliodas he's just sleeping like usual. There was also a lot more space because Naruto wanted to make Kurama more comfortable. Now it's a vast field instead of a cage. Naruto then says, hey mom, I have a question for you. Elizabeth comes over and they sit down together, and Naruto says, it's about this girl we're protecting right now. He pops up an image of Shion, just using his mind because it is his mindscape, and Elizabeth wonders if it's that kind of talk, and she asks, what about that girl? Naruto says, she's a priestess, and when I looked at her, something weird happened, and then she told us that a demon would attack with his army unless she seals him away. Kurama, Meliodas, and Elizabeth are completely shocked, and for the first time ever, Meliodas just gets up mad as hell. How the hell did someone of this world gain the power to do that? And Naruto proceeds to explain what they were told, for once actually feeling pretty scared from his dad, because Meliodas is a pretty chill guy. You don't really see him get mad unless, it's serious. And Elizabeth and Meliodas, after hearing the whole thing, look at each other and realize that it's time to tell him about his origins. even though they're not sure if this is the same type of demon they're talking about, just in case. And Elizabeth says, Naruto, this might be a bit sudden, but your ocular abilities aren't chakra based. And Naruto says, wait, then I don't have a dojutsu? Wait, then why do I have these eyes? Meliodas and Elizabeth then explain everything from the beginning, and Naruto's jaw just completely drops. And Meliodas then says, yep, and your other eye worried me, because you should not be able to have that. For some reason, when our souls became bound to these new hosts, it created what you now simply and ironically call your demon eyes. Naruto then says, how does that even work? Were you transported through a crack in the universe or something? Elizabeth says, yeah, that's actually a perfect way to describe it. Look, honey, I know we might make you feel weird that you're not exactly... Naruto then cuts her off. Are you kidding me? I love you both. Do I have anything else because I'm half god, half demon? Meliodas then says, well, because of what you are, when you reach a certain age, you'll stop aging, and technically you become immortal. It's hard to kill you, even if someone tried, because you actually have 10 hearts. Naruto then says, why didn't you tell me this before? The hearts thing was a bit creepy, but why? Elizabeth then says, Naruto, this means you're going to outlive Sasuke. He'll die, but you'll have to go on. Same goes for Jiraiya, Sai, Itachi, Kakashi, any of your friends. This is the worst part of being god or demon, and much less a hybrid. If anything, it's worse. We didn't want to tell you because of this. Naruto stays silent for a bit and says, well, it's not all bad. I still have you, Kurama. Right, buddy?
Of course, who else is gonna take care of you?
And this means that I'll get to travel and see a lot of things and maybe even keep the planet safe. I'll come back later. I have to go. He returns back to the real world with a more serious face as Sasuke tells him that it's time for them to go and take her to the place where she needs to be. They meet Shion, who is followed by a certain servant that, decides not to leave her alone and refuses to head back, and they reach a waterfall. And Sasuke says, so this is how we escape, huh? Interesting. Maybe... Naruto then cuts him off. Guys, we need to go back to Konoha instead. He looks at Kakashi, Jiraiya, and Itachi, and Kakashi just wanted to get the hell out of here because he wants to go read. Says, cool, let's just... Itachi then says, wait a minute. Why? Naruto says, because 1, we can handle this ourselves. 2, consider this our test. If we complete this mission, it'll show you how far we've come. Also, I think we might need to let the village know, considering what the enemy is gonna do. They might need to stay on guard. Jiraiya then says, you just want to have fun with this, don't you? Fine, we'll leave you kids alone. Then they poof and Sai asks, are you sure that was the best choice? Naruto then says, honestly, I don't know, but don't you want to test your abilities? The 3 smile at each other as Shion cuts them off, saying, hurry up, you were supposed to be protecting me. Sasuke gets a bit mad as they follow her under the waterfall. Sai is practically emotionless, even despite having lived with Naruto and Sasuke, because he just knows how to keep his emotions under wraps. But Naruto is just kind of in a conflicted feeling because he feels drawn to this girl, but she is so annoying right now. Anyway, now we're gonna go to the lair of our villains, antagonists of the story, whatever you want to call them. The minions came back to reveal that Shizuku and Setsuna were killed, and how easily they were beaten. I'm also mentioning how the guy that killed them sort of seems similar to them in a certain way. And Yomi says, well, who did it? Gitai then says, it was this kid with a weird dojutsu. His eyes were so dark and hollow. He remembers what he felt in that moment and gets scared. Yomi then says, useless. Go back out there and stop me, even if you have to die. You know what I want you to do. The 3 nod while sweating a bunch as we go to a different perspective. Naruto is carrying Shion as they jump through the forest, and for a moment she felt weirdly drawn to him once again and couldn't resist caressing his hair. As soon as she does, Naruto says, "Having fun up there?" She blushes as she then notices Taruho, who is still following them. She already tried a while back to tell him to go home, but he refused, so they just let him follow. Soon night falls and they stop, and Taruho checks on her and suggests that she get some rest since her jutsu relies on stamina. And while he's saying this, Sai and Sasuke are out checking their surroundings. Taruho then says, "Are you sure it's wise for only you to be protecting Lady Shion?" Naruto says, "Don't worry, I'm plenty strong." "Do you know the legendary Sanin?" Shion then says, "Yeah, what about it?" Naruto then says, "I already fought and killed one of them. He wasn't that strong, honestly." Taruho and Shion are shocked. Taruho then says, "You're joking, right?" Naruto then says, "Nope, I'm the lead village's Jinchuriki. Don't you know about me?" Shion gets scared, but wonders if Naruto's life has been anything like her own. Instead of acting like a brat, she just goes to sleep, because if she pisses him off, he might just kill her. Of course, Naruto wouldn't do that, but she just realized she made fun of someone really strong. Now, once she falls asleep, Sasuke and Sai return, and they say they'll be on the watch for a while. And while they're doing this, Naruto talks to Taruho as Taruho tells him more about Shion's powers and how her life has gone, and also telling him to go easy on her because she's been through some stuff. Pretty soon the sun starts to rise and Naruto smiles getting up. "Well, it's time to go." And instead of seeing a bad omen, Shion actually sleeps very peacefully, which kind of scares her even more because she, for once, doesn't know how things are gonna play out. She gets up to see Naruto saying hi and she smiles. We now cut to the guys jumping from rock to rock as they pass waterfalls upon waterfalls, and Taruho left because Naruto told him to. Quick flashback. Naruto's talking to Taruho. "If you stick around, you're gonna hold us back." Taruho is about to say something, but Naruto says, "There are no buts. Go. I've seen people die way too much lately. You're not making things better. Just go." He uses his eyes to persuade him, and Taruho gets up as Naruto makes a clone from Lost Sylvain to follow him until he gets back safe. Naruto then says, "Trust me, I'll keep her safe." Now back to the present, Shion is currently sleeping comfortably on Naruto, and Sai says, "Is it normal for non-ninja to be that calm in this type of situation?" Sasuke then says, "Of course not. It just seems like our senpai finally found someone special." Both of them chuckle as all of a sudden they feel a spike in chakra, and out of nowhere spikes of earth pop out aiming for them. In an instant, Sasuke finally takes out Samihara and extends it and sends it at the attack, even eating some of the spikes up while also breaking them. Then he activates his Sharingan and he sees who's doing this, and using Susanoo wings, he rushes at Gintai and Sukuna, who dodge only for Sasuke to then pop out a Susanoo arm to grab both of them. Then Sai comes in sending two tigers at the two, just as Sasuke releases them and they get hit just straight on. This creates a bunch of dust to go everywhere as Sasuke and Sai come out of it. Sai then speaks up. "Naruto, complete the mission, we'll handle the rest." Naruto then nods and he keeps going. He increases his speed by a lot and arrives at night. Shion was going to lead him there, but he said it was unneeded as he could just feel where the enemy was. Soon they reached the entrance, and by this point Sasuke and Sai completely destroyed their opponents, even though they went into a higher power and increased their chakra tenfold by eating those weird snakes. Also because Sai gained better skills as an assassin, now be able to completely erase his presence. His opponents can't keep up with him at all. And Sasuke also easily beat his opponents using his Amaterasu to burn him to death, to ash after he was bored. Now back to Naruto. He was rushing in the entrance as Shion asked why he was not stopping the minions, and Naruto says, "That's because I don't need to." All of a sudden a red Susanoo appears and it starts to destroy the stone army. This is of course Itachi, and Shion is amazed. Jiraiya is also, there doing his thing, beating the army with some Frog Kumite and his Sage mode. And Naruto says, "Don't worry, my job is just to keep protecting you. You just have to steal Moro while you can. I'll cover for you." She tightly holds on to Naruto, feeling very scared, and says, "I'll be relying on you." Naruto smiles as he activates his shadow armor, which also transfers to Shion, also protecting her. Then he rushes in at fast speeds. Shion then asks, "Is this a jutsu?" Naruto then says, "I'll tell you after you finish the job." She then gets more confident, and now we are in the main place located in the cave where there's like a bunch of magma, and in front of them, far away, is Moro. Yomi was no longer there, and it was just his body was completely just taken over by the demon. And Moro speaks up. Morio, sorry if I kept messing his name up. You're finally here. You look just like Mirko. I'm guessing you're the one who wiped out my minions. Impressive. He looks like Naruto. Impressive? I beat them all in one attack. And I'm pretty sure my friends already took care of the rest. Now all that's left is you. Morio laughs, only after getting rid of those guys. Naruto then smirks and releases his shadow wings. A bunch of stone statues are coming at them, just aiming to beat them up, and Naruto just easily dodges as he grabs Shion and he flies towards Moro. Sorry, I don't wanna really drag this out. Let's end this fast, shall we? Morio is shocked that this guy can fly, but doesn't give up as he shoots out tentacles to attack the two in the sky. Naruto easily dodges them, but one manages to grab his leg. Morio then says, "Ha, let's see you get out of those, you freak." Naruto then says, "Sure thing." He then explodes with more demonic power as the tentacles just burst off, and when he touches the ones that Morio kept sending at him, they just kept just literally getting smacked like it was nothing. He's just thinking, what is this kid? Where did he come from? Why is he messing up my plan? Naruto then drops Shion to the ground, but she landed perfectly safe since she was also reinforced by, the shadow armor, and as a matter of fact, she felt stronger. It's time that I seal you once and for all, says Shion. She then starts the ritual in the process, and a barrier encircles her as the ground starts to shine, showing some strange inscriptions. She's focusing and feeling pretty confident when Morio starts to talk and fill her mind with doubt. Naruto was watching this really mad, and he just felt very drawn to Shion, like I've said multiple times. So he was very mad that she was going through so much. However, he was busy dealing with the thousands of tentacles that was going after him. Morio is also suffering from a lot of chakra loss since he's doing his very best to keep Naruto in check, and so he's wasting no time this time and enters Shion's barrier as he starts to cover her with darkness. This darkness makes Shion feel weaker as the shadow armor completely disperses. She's in the darkness. Her life is flashing before her eyes, and then she starts to remember her mom and feels like she failed her. Mario is laughing because soon he was gonna have it all. He was gonna have power. They're finally gonna, unite. I think that was his goal. Naruto, who was seeing this, and yeah, Naruto was mad as hell. He just could not keep his anger in check. Kurama, I need you. Kurama then says,
Got it. Let's put this guy in his place.
Naruto then erupts with power, going KCM 3. He then bashes away all the tentacles and rushes at the barrier. Naruto then says, I was gonna leave this up to you, Shion, but I need to take this guy myself. Back to Shion. She is going through a lot of emotions, and all she can hold on to her, to right now is her mom. And in doing so, she finds out her real power, making her bell crack, and she then enters her priestess mode. Morio says ominously, that bell must hold your power. So what now, child? Shion then says, you're gonna disappear with me. She then whispers, you have to live on, Naruto. Please. As she says this and starts to sacrifice herself, Naruto appears by her using Flying Thunder God, which he had learned and, like I said, almost completely mastered. I'm not gonna say he completely mastered it yet. It's not that easy to learn Flying Thunder God. Okay, we gotta have some limits. After using that and getting right next to her, he smacked her on the head, saying, well, what are you being an idiot or something? And Shion says, Naruto, this is my job, you have to let me. Naruto then says, because of destiny or fate? I've been disproving that idea my entire life, so stop being dumb and let me help you. He grabs her and puts his hand up, and he turns to his mother's dojutsu. Shion then says, those eyes, they're so beautiful. She stares at Naruto in this darkness, and he's literally her only light, so she holds on tight. And as she does so, Naruto smiles, and he says, purge. A blind light consumes the darkness and starts to dissolve it. Mario is screaming, ah, damn it! Wow, what are you? You're definitely not a priestess. How are you killing me? Naruto then says, priestess. Oh please, that's nothing. My mom's a literal goddess. Obviously, this catches Shion and Morio off guard. What? What are you talking about? Says Morio, obviously a bit confused and mad. Naruto's white wings then pop out, and Morio is even more shocked. He hadn't seen anything like this since Mirko. It was pure beauty. But that was all he saw before he was purged from existence and screams from it. And as he disappears, Naruto with his pure white wings looks at Shion. See? I told you. Shion was then like, what was that? Your wings, they're real. It's not chakra? Naruto then says, I'll tell you in a bit, but first let's leave, okay? Shion then sees him smiling and blushes as she agrees, and they now leave. Now we're gonna cut to a different perspective. Shikamaru's. That guy never holds back, does he? They are looking at the place where Naruto was fighting, and it is exploding right now. And there was also Gai Sensei there, Neji, Lee, and Kakashi, as well as Tamari, who then see him fly out of the smoke holding Shion. Neji then says, did he always have white wings? Kakashi says, not until recently. Naruto then lands with a blushing Shion, and Naruto then lets her down as, she bows to the others and thanks them for helping the village. She then hugs Naruto and surprises everybody, as well as Naruto. And just as this was going on, Sasuke and Sai then come out to greet him, and Sasuke rushes at him, hugging him tight, and Sai then puts a thumbs up at Naruto as he reciprocates this by also giving a thumbs up back. Naruto then says, what, did you ever doubt my ability? She now looks at Naruto surrounded by friends, and she just sees how much happiness he brings to everyone just with his presence. She then, talks again. Naruto turns around saying, yeah, what's up? Shion then says, would you agree to help me raise the next priestess? Naruto, not being dense as the original Naruto, realizes exactly what she means, and just like everyone, he is shocked. But then Naruto gets serious as he wants to confirm something. He goes up to her, making her blush, and grabs her by the hand, and just like before, they feel this weird attraction to each other. It's like they're the only people in the entire world. There's nobody else. And Naruto exactly had found what his mom and his dad described to him. A soulmate. I think that's how it was in 7 Deadly Sins. They might as well be soulmates. I think that's actually a thing in 7 Deadly Sins, so I'm going to apply it here. Inside Naruto's body, Meliodas, Elizabeth, and Kurama are proud of Naruto, as Kurama also knows what this means due to talking to Meliodas and Elizabeth for 3 straight years. He also knows what Naruto is feeling right now. And he's literally tied to Naruto, so. And Meliodas says, that's my boy. Now back to reality. Naruto, who is still holding Shion's hand, he had just completely decided on something. I'll help you in any way I can. Everyone is baffled because Naruto might as well have just proposed to her. Like, he literally just asked her for her hand in marriage, technically. And Shion is surprised that he accepted so fast. And then she was reminded how drawn to him she was. And she's completely fine with just trusting him with everything. They keep staring at each other, and Kakashi pats them both on the shoulder. Well, this is an interesting development, but we should get back to Konoha, right, Naruto? Naruto then says, you just want to go back to reading that book, don't you? Kakashi then flinches since he was, spot on. And Naruto says, well, since we're going to be together for a while, then our two lands should just form an alliance. Shion was then surprised. But isn't that for the Hokage to decide? Sai then says, you don't need to worry. Naruto's a special case. He can consider his word technically law. Shikamaru then gets up saying, wait a minute. He's then reminded of everything that Naruto has done and says, actually, yeah, he's right. He's right. And everyone then slightly chuckles as we cut to Shion being taken to Konoha after days of travel to talk to Tsunade. The guards let everyone in, the returning ninja back. They also saw Naruto, and when Naruto enters the village, all the villagers notice him and starts to just murmur, wow, it's Naruto? He's grown so much. Naruto then jumps up using his wings. It's been a while, but this village really hasn't changed. after all of these years. I'm finally back. Did you miss me, Konoha? I'm gonna end it off there. Like usual, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I know it felt a bit rushed, but honestly, I just needed to finally get this over with so we can actually get more into the Akatsuki part of things and the end of this series. And as to what if Naruto has spiral energy, I'm actually almost done with the script already. I'm already liking the way it's going. He's a bit overpowered, but at this point, I really don't care. My whole channel is full of OP characters. So, yeah. And also, I finished the actual drawing of what Deku would look like with Darkseid's powers. One of you commented, and you're not wrong, that it's hard to take something like this seriously. So I'm going to give you the actual drawing, which is this. He looks nice, doesn't he? Well, if he doesn't to you, well, I don't care. It looks nice enough for me. And I actually did work really hard on it. It's just that, well, I had to do a lot of other things, but I still put all my hard work into it. So I hope you like it. And you know who asked for this. You know who you are. I hope you also enjoyed that I put all my time and effort into drawing this. So that's where I'm gonna leave it off. I'm gonna go to sleep so I don't wake up late again. I swear I've missed my first periods like about 2 times now. I'm so fucked. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.